Please be seated. Good morning.
Good morning.
To say, as we planned our stewardship for this fall, this Sunday really caught a hold of my imagination. I'm really excited about it. We don't have another card for you. Instead, we have multicolored Post-its. As try as I might, and as much as I would have liked to have them have little words on the top like our cards had, the green and yellow cards we've had these last few weeks, I couldn't get Post-its to print those on there, so I have to tell you what it is you're writing on the Post-its. As they distribute the Post-its, they're in packs. So as they come around, peel off one or two and stick them to your hymnal or your prayer book so you can write on them as we go. And the thing we're writing on Post-its is your dream for Ascension. And, we all kind of have dreams for what's possible among us. And some dreams are small. Those are for the small Post-it. They're relatively accomplishable dreams, something that with a little bit of planning we could probably just do right away. Then there's medium-sized dreams for the medium-sized Post-its. And pencils just didn't seem adequate, so we had to go get markers too. So, just dreams are bigger than a card, and they're bigger than pencils. So we've got Post-its, and then we've got the large Post-its are for those big dreams that will take more planning and resources and take a little bit more planning. So take your time with those. You can stick them on your prayer book or on your hymnal and fill them out as we go. And then as you come up for communion, you can stick it to the altar rail or to the window or to your neighbor. No, I don't know. So I wrote a few myself. I'll share with them, but there's a quote that I think kind of captures the essence of what we're trying to accomplish, and I'd like to share that first. So there's a classic movie for the ages, and the heroes are deep in enemy territory, and they're surrounded, and they're not sure how they're going to get out of there. And one hero is trying to convince the other hero to go even deeper into enemy territory to save the princess. And that's when Luke Skywalker says to Han Solo, well, the reward will be, well more than you can imagine. And Han Solo's response is, I don't know, kid. I can imagine quite a bit. And I hope it's the spirit of that we enter into this dreaming process as we imagine what's possible as we come together as God's people. I don't know, kid. I can imagine quite a bit. I think that's my favorite line out of all of Star Wars, actually. So I stuck my Post-its in the back of my journal so I could fill them out during the week as I prepared for this sermon. Emma caught me yesterday and she was asking about some of them, but I'd like to share a few of these with you as I begin the sermon today. So I have some of these, well, a lot of them won't come as any surprise. This one, it's a medium-sized sticky. It says, renovate and update the youth house and upper building. Yeah, all right, you can say amen to that. That's a good one. I've got a small one here that says better website and a better web presence. And that's small not because of the impact that it'll have, but because it's already underway and it's likely to be done soon. I have a couple other here. I have a small one that says a new copier for the office at some point, because, we need copies. That's what helps us pull us together for worship. I have a medium-sized one here that says, fix the skylight, no more rain in the narthex. And after I wrote it on a medium-sized one, I figured out that I was actually going to have to go buy a much larger Post-it to write this one on. But it's still here. It's a dream. It's an aspiration of our time together. This one says more staff, more programs, better offerings for the community. It's medium because it'll take us a little while to get there. Actually, there's one that I could put with that I think pairs well with it. It says, call an associate rector to serve Ascension. That's one of the things that we hope to do sooner rather than later, and those two go together. Along with adding new worship services, something that will not only help to engage the current membership, but draw in new people. I got big dreams. I got dreams like adding to our current facilities, maybe a big atrium at the front of the building that adds to our curb appeal and draws new people into this space that we call home and that we love so much. But I got to say, well, one more before I transition here. It says all parish pilgrimage. These things shouldn't just be for the youth, right? We need a chance to go on pilgrimage together. And so I hope that's actually not just my dream. I saw someone else wrote that one at the early service. But I got to say, not all of these cost money. Most of the ones I just listed will take some resource. That's why I'm talking about it during stewardship. That's why I'm raising it during this season when we're contemplating what our gift to the church might be next year. I got this one. It's a small post-it. It doesn't cost us anything. It says that everyone would read and share the Ascension email. I wrote that on a small one, then I realized I do have to stick that to a bigger post-it before I put it up. But I think it's an opportunity for us to connect as a community during the week, and I think it could be, it's a dream. I have another post-it here that says, members who will pray for every guest that comes to Ascension, a dream of mine. You can see, I like to dream. I got us started. I can't wait to see what some of your dreams are, but I got just a couple more that I need to share. I realized that some of the dreams were actually bigger than those Post-its that I had, so I had to go to the store, and I had to buy a bigger Post-it. That hardly seems fair, right? But I bought a bigger Post-it, because this one's really big. It says, everyone adopt a daily prayer discipline. And I think the reality is that this wouldn't just transform us as individuals, it will transform us as a community. And I think just like the dreams that we have at night, sometimes until we state them, they don't become clear to us. And in talking about them and the dreams that you will offer up this day, they might just become a reality because it will take an inordinate amount of effort and dedication and discipline as a community to accomplish this. And I realized this Post-it wasn't quite big enough, so I went and bought a bigger one. Yeah. That's why I bought the markers too. This one says Sabbath, but the notion is that we would be a community that is known for how well we keep the Sabbath. And I know that this too would transform our lives as individuals and as a community. And I hope that this dream can be accomplished, but I know that I need all of you to kind of like add your names to it as we go, and that we'll all be a work in progress as we work towards that one. So I can't wait to read the dreams that you offer up on your Post-its. It will be exciting and engaging, and I hope that I hope it excites you as much as I had some fun with it. Now we've got markers and Post-its. You can put them anywhere if you are so inclined. If you have a really big dream, those big Post-its will be in my office. You can come talk to me. We'll fill it out and we'll stick it on my window so everybody can read it when they walk by. I think it's great that the readings did such a nice job of lining up for us on this day too, because the readings actually spark our imaginations as well. Here we have Job, who we talked about a couple of weeks ago, continuing to struggle. And if you haven't read through the entire story of Job, since we've left him and he's undergone a lot of hardship, and his wife's confronted him about it, his friends have confronted him about it, and now he said, like, man, if only I could just speak to God about this. And he's kind of saying, if I could state my case to God, certainly God would understand. And this week, the reading is God's response. And it's almost as if God is trying to spark Job's imagination about what's really going on here. He says, were you there? Were you there when the foundations of the earth were laid? Certainly, if you're purporting to be knowledgeable, share the measurements. Were you there when these things happened? Were you a part of this? He's trying to help Job to understand that the situation is bigger and more complex than Job has realized to this point. I think the same is true for the disciples as they walk toward Jerusalem with Jesus, and they continue to argue about who will be leaders among them after Jesus is gone. And Jesus is trying to engage them about the discipline of following the way of Christ, rather than having them worry about who will be in charge. They ask about sitting at his left and at his right when he comes into glory. And interestingly enough, he doesn't tell them no. He says it's already decided in the end. But first he says, are you able to drink the cup that I drink? Are you able to receive the baptism with which I was baptized? And you have to admire, I don't know if it's courage or simple audacity, to which they just say, yes. Yeah, we're in. Let's do it. And Jesus, you can almost imagine him just kind of shaking his head and thinking, oh boy, what have I gotten myself into? He's trying to spark their imaginations, and indeed, it's those disciples that give us the sacraments, the cup, by which we still remember Christ's presence and ability to nourish us in our living. It's through his words that he reminds them of the commitment that they make when they step forward in baptism and engage with their core discipline of following and proclaiming Christ's love, grace, truth, and mercy to everyone after Jesus is gone. These readings hopefully spark our imaginations as we contemplate our dream for Ascension, as we dream together, as we share these dreams and they become more vivid and more real and more tangible. I don't know, I can imagine quite a bit. My hope, my prayer for us is that we might commit to accomplishing these dreams as a community, and that we might be known by that we dream big and set out to accomplish the impossible, knowing that it's only through the power of God that we'll get there. Amen.
Amen.